This video deals with mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. What I have in my hands is the craziest thing I've ever seen come to me on Friday. This is either the future of security in Las Vegas, probably for the rest of the world, but it's also a reason why some of you guys will never come back to this town ever again, and some of you will come here all the time. I'm going to try to present this insider information that I got from a friend of the channel who is 100% correct on all the COVID stuff when he told us about this 2 years ago, about what was happening. I'm going to present this information the very most objectively and not opinionated I possibly can. Some of the stuff in here will make your head spin, I guarantee it. A lot of this stuff's already taking places in locations like China, Dubai, Singapore, the United Arab Emirates. Are you willing to live in a police state? You might be living in a police state in Vegas. And just a little bit of a disclaimer. Some of you guys are already canceling your Vegas trip. Don't do that. This stuff hasn't been implemented yet. All of it might happen. Some of it might happen. I very much doubt that none of it will happen because something has to give. Last week, 2 more people lost their lives on the Las Vegas Strip. Supposedly adult Disneyland. And Disneyland's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. But it wasn't for the 2 people that lost their life and the 6 others that were stabbed and the folks sent to critical condition at the hospitals. We got here over the last 2 years with the COVID reopening, and we all thought that it was maybe just people who had money to burn, who were troublemakers coming in when they couldn't usually afford to come here. But society is off the rails, which is why I think before you get mad at this, if you're going to be the type that gets mad, it's probably coming to a town near you. Now, my dear sweet wife, Sweet Caroline, once told me Vegas is the beta test city because people come here from everywhere. You know those Coca-Cola machines that you have where you can press a touch screen and get any concoction you want? Started here at the Coca-Cola store right on the Las Vegas Strip over 15 years ago. Anyways, let's get into it. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas channel. I don't know if I'll be able to monetize this, so please do subscribe. I'll be rich in subscribers. If it does get monetized, cool. We use that to support our channel and continue making videos for you. So, insider to the channel has access to this information. Said there was a several hour long call on Friday. Casinos begrudgingly had to agree to do something. One casino property agreed to actually do something. The other properties said they don't want to do it, but they have to. The one property said, we will do it on our own, and we will make this an advertising feature of coming to Vegas. Yeah, that's another thing too. They're going to run an ad campaign based on what I'm going to tell you in just half a second. Wow. They're creating this crazy lockdown place, and I don't know how I feel about it. Again, objectivity. That's me today. So, extreme but necessary police state for Las Vegas. Man. Dubai, Singapore, China, they already have this kind of stuff. Don't think it can't happen. As a matter of fact, there's one property in Vegas that already has something like this installed, but it's not actually active. They flip a switch. This is already happening there. So complete 100% interaction between the hotels. That's the first thing. If somebody gets kicked out of a hotel on the west side of the Strip, they let their competitor casino company on the east side of the Strip know what's going on. That person doesn't get to go anywhere in Vegas. They're going to have a bad time. But it's more of a surveillance state so we can prevent people getting kicked out of casinos. So cameras will increase in Las Vegas. A massive amount of increased cameras, 1080p, if not 4K cameras. There is already a lot of them in Vegas. It's already the illusion of freedom that you have in this town. Don't get me wrong. I like that they're watching us when I'm in public, so bad guys don't do bad guy things. But blanketing downtown Fremont Strip and the Las Vegas Strip with 4K or HD cameras that are live broadcast back to Metro and the casino company so people can see what's going on. Facial recognition, artificial intelligence, cadence recognition, meaning that when you walk in a certain way. Most people can't pick it up, but these can create a profile on you. They know that that is you, even though they don't know your name. They know that that's that same person we saw at that property, and they're now at this property. AI being shared between airlines, McCarran International Airport, the Metropolitan Police Department, Homeland Security, special forces that help with special events, and all of this being built into a database. In addition to this, the inside of casino properties interlinked with Metro so they can see what's going on live and they can see and monitor the situation, as well as casino security guards wearing body cams that can broadcast live streaming back into that same system. It all starts at Harry Reid International Airport, formerly McCarran Airport, where passenger manifests are passed on and forwarded to every casino property in Vegas so they can know who's coming into Vegas on the planes. Okay, I guess. Guest floor cams as well integrating into it, which is good because if one more person sends me a text or an email and tells me that they were robbed while they were staying at a property, holy smokes, artichokes, there's way too much of that happening. At least that way they can see if this is really a thing. Put your stuff in the safe. I know you don't like it. Don't forget the combination. Just use, your dog's birth year or something like that. Just use the safe. Collecting facial recognition and facial profiles in a permanent database. I have to go over this, and I've recorded this 6 times so far, so do me a favor. If you like the fact that I record these videos 6 times, throw me a like, subscribe to the channel for more like it. Tracking and matching events to people. This is something that I read the ACLU's website on a few months back. The ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. Yes, I read the ACLU because I'm incredibly boring. Do you understand? I have no life. But they were talking about a system where it works like this. Let's say you and I don't know each other, but we both take the bus to the Strip and we both go to the same restaurant and eat there. We just both happen to do that at the same time for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Now, you or me, we commit a crime. They're going to find the other person, track them down, and assume that they're associates because of where the facial recognition and all this body cadence stuff, how they've matched them up. And at the click of a button, they can know everything about a person, about their habits. If people start to break habits, they can know when there's a broken habit. They can try to get on it beforehand. And also, this facial AI recognition system will be able to recognize for agitation, for anger, for frustration. They can know if a person's going to snap before they're going to snap. This might have actually been very good because the crazy person that went and attacked people with a kitchen knife had simply snapped. If we had something like this in place, it would have helped. It really would. I'm not going to lie. I mean, for all this stuff, it would have helped. Now, undercover police presence. This is all stuff outside of the Strip now. Undercover police presence. Obviously, we have undercover officers. How about officers that look like they're mascots and are mascots? Taking pictures for tips. I wonder who gets to keep the tip money. So Spider-Man might be a cop. Might be a cop wearing a body cam. Batman might be a cop, which would be super awesome, I just have to say. Imagine if Batman was wearing Kevlar. He would be legit Batman. I hope they have an Officer Bruce Wayne on the force. I'm halfway joking, but I actually agree with that. It's a pretty cool idea. On the Strip in downtown, they already have these downtown, but lights, digital LED signs that can display if incidents are happening, flash, make audible instances. This would have helped if during a few months back when somebody broke a giant plate glass window, you know how the windows are made of basically automobile glass, it popped. Everybody went out of their minds. We all thought that Vegas was under attack. This would have helped in that case because we could have quelled the crowd and calmed it down a little bit. Now, retail cameras also in on this. So retail stores also having a loop in onto the system. Now, the next one here is going to be disconcerting for some people. If you have a CCW, concealed carry weapons permit in your state, you will be flagged coming into Vegas. Not because you're not allowed to come, but the hotels want to know about this, and we want to know if somebody is apparently a firearms owner. Entering the property, facial scans, cadence scans, I already mentioned this. Front desks, doing extra bag checks when you check in to make sure that you don't have bad luggage, maybe sending them through a scanner. We haven't gotten to that point yet. Additionally, a zero violence policy, for zero tolerance policy towards violence on the Strip, meaning that if you get kicked out of this casino on this side of the street, you're not going to the other side because you're now flagged and you can't stay anywhere in Vegas or even walk in the building without them picking you up and asking you nicely to leave. So behave yourselves while you're out there, I suppose. Checking it via the same facial recognition system and flagging that person on the airlines. So now the airlines also know that you're maybe the type of person that says Saturday night is all right for fighting. Get a little action in. Was it Saturday night? Yeah, it was Saturday night. Thank you, Elton John. We love you. Facial recognition can find that person. They can match it to a national database of real IDs with the driver's licenses. The Real ID Act was something that we passed here after 9/11. Homeland Security said you have to get a special ID where you prove who you are, and that was in effect, I think, this year. Let's see here. The next thing is really interesting, though. all those cameras can be linked into an app. Now, this is actually a good idea. So let's say you see something, you want to say something. Old times, old days, you'd have to get on your phone and call somebody. But nowadays, it's so, apparently under this system, as simple as taking your phone while you're here, pressing a button on your phone, and having the cameras having the phone geolocate you and the cameras in your area see what you're seeing and sending out somebody to help you on this. It's actually a good idea. Just a one button, one click app. Maybe put some resources about how to get help if something did happen out here. That actually could have prevented what happened last week, I have to say. And then we also have a zero mental issues policy on the homeless folks, and trying to clean up the homeless, going down into the tunnels and actually finding out who's in the tunnels, not trying to kick them out, but offering people help on a massive scale. And by the way, who's going to pay for all this? Apparently the casinos, because I've been told, allegedly, the casinos have been making a lot of money, and now the local governments and the law enforcement are tired of having to deal with all of the ruckus from what happens outside of the properties. So we'll see. Now, drones, that's another thing. More or less a deterrent. This would be something that would be flying over Fremont Street and over the Strip. Drones are just a deterrent. They're not going to do much. They do have 4K drones. I saw them at both Consumer Electronics last year and National Association of Broadcasters. But just a drone with a very bright red and blue LED flashing could help. I don't know about you, but places around town in Vegas have these posts, these pillars they put up, and you'll see a red and a blue light flashing. It doesn't mean that there's a police presence, but people see it and they associate it with the police, so they might not come around and try any of that. We have another page, believe it or not, patrol dogs on the Strip, and a lot heavier presence in the casinos when an event happens. And that's it. And also stop and frisk possible. Stop and frisk was a controversial issue that came about 20 years ago in New York. But you have to know that for a time, Manhattan was very safe. It was very, very unsafe. And then they had to clean it up. And then it was very safe. So there is hope for Vegas, is my point. And we see that happening with Manhattan, which got safe. I don't think it's safe now. I've not been in Manhattan. Any of you all from New York? Tell me in the comments below. But at a time, things like stop and frisk, where the cops could just pull up and walk up to you and say, "What you got in the bag there, sir?" You know, that was a policy that, while controversial, did stem some issues from happening in advance. But that's the thing. This is all designed to make things stop happening in advance. Some of this might happen. None of this might happen. We don't know at this point. So before you get all up in arms, just know I'm reporting on the allegeds that I heard from my insider, who happened to be right over the COVID pandemic about everything else he told me. And I'll be real interested, just like you are, to see how all this plays out. I'm just curious to know what you think about it. Do you think that this is a solution? I will tell you this right now. If this works out in Vegas, we're going to see more of these surveillance systems trying to do precognitive crime patrols like in Minority Report than you think we will. This is something that could possibly help society, but at the same time, having all that information in the wrong hands could be a problem too, right? So that's objective. On one hand, it's good. On one hand, it's bad. You tell me what you think is best or worst for you in your situation. What do you think of the video? Please subscribe. If you're just browsing through, that'd be great. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. This is Miss Princess right over here. She likes to bite me when I try to pet her. And for all of you guys who are saying, well, gee, your surgery arm. I had actually somebody say this. The arm you never had surgery on sure looks good. Here's the scars. Chicks love scars, right? I don't know. But there's the scars. There's 2 of them. It feels better. It's still tight, but I have to use it. So I'm trying to use it like a normal person. This type of injury actually gets better real fast and then takes months and months to fully get better. So it's complicated. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. I love you, Caroline. Be good out there, wifey. You're my best angel in the world. We got to go. 3, 2, 1, and click.